half-hour workday, 5 days a week for the noted individuals, and the same 8-hour day, 5-day work week for the noted individuals, then I would read this resolution and ask for a roll call vote. So, I don't know what the rest of the...
Further discussion?
Well, there's a motion on the floor, and then you pulled your motion. I put a motion on the floor to defer, so let's figure out what to do with the deferred motion.
Well, was that motion seconded?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Gentlemen, what would you like to do? Defer or...
Well, I think we
Let
could
council
just
look
adopt
at
it if there's some urgency, and then if something needs to be tweaked, I think we can tweak it later on. The understanding I thought as far as the summer hours with the union is on Fridays they leave at 1 o'clock or something, I believe.
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock from Memorial Day to Labor Day. And,
That's right.
We decided, and in the past, I believe they were paid overtime to be here till 5. And I think that's something we're not going to do now, is pay the overtime to staff the offices unless there's a need to do it.
Right.
Just to have someone here, to have somebody here, you know.
Cost in excess of $20,000.
Right,
to do
exactly,
that.
and that's what we were trying to save money with the budget. So we weren't going to just automatically pay overtime every Friday during the summertime. That's what I understood, that the union just wanted to make sure that there was clarification with that now.
And in the summer, they come in at 8:40, union workers
Right, well,
come in
they
at
don't, they
8:45.
take less of a lunch, I believe,
Right.
and they come in a little earlier.
I think what's noted is it's
But they
just
still
called
work the
a
same
standard
amount.
workday. It
That's
doesn't
right.
have hours associated with it. It doesn't say that 5-day work week, 8 hours a day from 9 to 5. So it can be a shifting,
Right.
it can be shifting times.
And they still work the required 37 and a half hours a week.
Just wondering where this is and all of
Yeah.
Where is that? Because it goes to the pension section.
Should we go forward and approve it?
Well, I think we have to first... You have a motion to defer. We have a motion to defer.
Yeah. Do you want to defer to Liz, or do you want to go ahead and...
If we're done discussing it, let's vote on the motion to defer. Let's, I mean, I know that I'm interested in having this resolution done. I'm very conscious of the state comptroller and how much that the supervisor and Councilman Yee and Councilman Gross, Cullen, and I want to make certain that the comptroller's office is satisfied with how the town of Southeast is operating. So I would like to have the motion voted on, and then I would like to read this resolution and have that voted on.
Okay, so since I have my deferred motion, we're going to have continued discussion. Oh, we're going to continue? Because my concern is, considering all the discussion we're having now, it should be discussed even further rather than just vote on it. Because I have a question here, is where is the town attorney's status in the standard workday? Because we showed that the accounting clerk, the building inspector, clerk, code enforcement, fire inspector, lifeguard, real property data collector, recreation leader, senior court clerk, town accountant, typist. So I need to understand where the town attorney fits and falls into this, because he's not an elected position, and elected officials, I guess, are on different levels. So that's the reason why we need to understand this
I think
and
the issue is the job
discuss it even
description
further.
Isn't the job description in the process of being outlined?
That will
Yes.
be.
So, go ahead, Will. What were you gonna say?
Go ahead, Will.
The board adopted a resolution last March establishing a standard workday for elected officials and appointed officials, which would include myself and the assessor. So that is currently in effect.
So that does not have to be included in any resolution.
This is only, there's already a resolution for the standard workday for elected officials and appointed officials. That was done last March.
Okay, I want to take a look at that resolution also then. Okay.
There's a motion and a second to defer. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Opposed?
Motion defeated, 3 votes to 2. Is there a new motion?
I'd like to,
I don't, a motion to adopt the resolution, which I have before me.
No, there would be a motion to amend the resolution at the request of the union steward. As I mentioned, she asked for omissions.
It's on your resolution there at those 2 omissions.
Who can please identify who said that?
The recreation assistant and the recreation attendant.
Is that because there are no individuals in those positions at this point in time?
Her request was that we delete the recreation assistant and the recreation attendant from the paragraph, which includes them at this time.
Which includes...
Which includes them at this time.
Which includes who?
The recreation assistant.
I know, but who is the,
and the
currently,
recreation
who is the
attendant.
recreation assistant, and who is the recreation attendant?
Well, right now, as I recollect, we have program directors. So, and I don't have the union contract in front of me. I don't recollect if they're designated as recreation assistants or recreation attendants. Will, perhaps you recollect.
I think that's seasonal, part-time employees. Mary Ann and Patty are recreation leaders, that's their title.
Right.
That's a civil service full-time position. This is part-time
We
seasonal.
abolished the position of recreation director.
But he's not even
Right.
in here. 'Cause he would-
But that isn't here.
Right. There is a recreation leader, a recreation assistant, and a recreation attendant. And then there were summer hours written in handwriting. What I see here is, and I can't read the handwriting, except, I can see except,
As contracted in something, I can't read that either.
I can't
What a
read.
reason why we should defer this and continue the discussion.
No, it's not.
All right.
No, I don't know. Can
That's the
someone tell?
supervisor's
Oh,
writing.
okay, so the supervisor wrote this.
Except as contracted otherwise, paren, summer hours, parens.
I think what the comptroller is seeking is definiteness, and since we were somewhat, we have a report, we still have to respond to the report. I would like to conform with what Ron Hunt has suggested that be done today at the organizational meeting, and what Town Clerk Mazzi's recollection was as to what the recommendation, or strong recommendation of the Comptroller's Office representative was. So I will move that we accept the resolution as I am about to read it. Town
Go
Board,
ahead.
Town of Southeast Standard Workday, whereas the New York State Comptroller's Regulations requires the Town of Southeast as a participating employer in the New York State and local employees' retirement system to establish a standard workday for each employee or class of employee for the purpose of determining pension service credit. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Southeast hereby establishes the following as a standard workday for the stated employee or class of employee for the purpose of determining days worked reportable to the New York State and local employees' retirement system. 5, the numeral 5, day work week, 7 1/2, the numerals 7 1/2 hour day, account clerk, assistant building inspector, clerk, code enforcement officer, fire inspector, lifeguard, real property data collector, recreation assistant, recreation attendant, recreation leader, senior court clerk, town accountant, typist. 5, the numeral 5, day work week, 8, the numeral 8, hour day, assistant crew chief, automotive mechanic helper, clerk/dispatcher, construction equipment operator, crew chief, laborer, maintenance worker, RMEO Roman numeral 1, RMEO Roman numeral 2. Resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Councilman Gross seconds. Roll call vote, please, Ruth.
Councilman Cullen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hudak?
Yes.
Councilman Yee?
No.
Councilman Gross?
Yes.
Supervisor Rice?
No. Motion carries 3 votes to
Read
2.
it. Read it too.
Next item. Item 14. Motion to appoint dog control officer. I move we appoint Alan Jacknick to another term. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Item 15, motion to authorize Putnam County to levy taxes. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman E. seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. So since we have them levying taxes, it's kind of obvious that we have also paying for a town tax assessing department, but there it is.
No, that's in the final analysis with problems with school districts and penalties and so forth. It's a different animal.
Item 16, Roger, I think it speaks for itself, but thank you. Item 16, motion to appoint parking enforcement officers, Ken Clare, Bill Skorka, and with respect to issuing permits, Sue Tobacco. Is there a second?
Second.
Could I just amend that also to include, not that he's really going to do it, but he has the authority, Joe Hernandez? Just to
That's fine with me.
Michael Devine have the authority also?
Yes, he
Actually, I
does.
think he does.
So can we include that also then?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah,
So it
just-
would be Michael Levine.
Moved as amended, with Michael Levine and Joseph Hernandez,
Ken Clare?
Bill Skorka, and with permits to,
Right.
issued by
Susan
Susan Tobacco.
I'll second that.
Councilman Cullen seconds. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Item 17, motion to appoint the following board seats. And we can refer to the list. Board of Assessment, Ellie McCowie?
McCaughey.
Pardon me, McCoy.
McCaughey.
Ending 12/31/15. Planning Board member, David Rush, ending 12/31/17. You know, as we're reading this, we have had interest by other persons in the community for these positions. Should we fill them tonight, or should we, to allow the community to express their interest?
Well, I think that, I mean, these are all reappointments, and usually, we just, unless there's a problem with the person on the board, we usually just reappoint them. You know, going forward, if there's a vacancy, then I would suggest then we can interview people and collect resumes and maybe, you know, try to get a pool of candidates. But as of now, I mean, you know, these people served well. I mean, I did speak to the chairman of the planning board and the assessor about these two people, and also zoning board appointments, and, you know, all the chairmen encouraged us to renew their terms.
And I, last evening, had the pleasure of sitting at the planning board and watching them work. And in particular, I'll note that David Rush is the vice chair, so certainly I would be in favor of his reappointment. I've been at the planning board on other occasions. Prior to my being a town councilwoman, I've actually appeared before the board. So I've appeared before the board, and I've had an opportunity to view them on several occasions as a town board member, so I know I would be in favor of reappointing David Rush. And as far as the other members, but, you know, right now we're speaking about David Rush.
I would concur with that. I've attended planning board meetings and also ARB, and we support these folks.
Okay.
I mean, I certainly think
Then I'll
that,
continue.
should there be an opening in any of the boards, that we ask interested people to come forward, we would interview them, and I certainly think that that would be a great idea. It's just that I agree and concur that this is a reappointment, and I think it's important to reappoint dedicated citizens of the town who have performed well.
Well, can I make a point also then? So then the only way to get onto one of these boards is to wait for a vacancy, in other words, when someone steps off of it. However, when their term expires, we just reappoint them.
Yeah,
The issue I have with that, though, is if, say, someone of interest wants to get onto one of these boards, why not give them the opportunity to at least wait until someone's term ends and also to apply, and give them that opportunity to apply? Granted, you know, we have many members who serve very well on these boards, but if there is someone new that wants to apply, how then, other than a vacancy, can they get on? So why don't we just consider that when these terms are up, that and advertise out to the community that XYZ's term is over, December 31st of a certain year, and if they're interested in it, please apply, send a resume, and as a town board, we would review that, and we would then make that final determination. But to continue to reappoint doesn't open up the opportunity to individuals out in the community who want to serve. And nothing against the ones who have served for many years. We still need to open up and make it fair to everyone.
Well, I think
Right. It
that...
seems
It's a
to be
closed shop. There's
Right,
no
it seems
doubt.
to be a closed club that, oh, how do I get in? Wait for a vacancy.
Yeah.
It's not like the Supreme Court, you have to wait for someone to step down and/or pass away. But, you know, we are an open community. We need to have many members of our community join and get involved in this.
I think it would be important that everyone out there know that this is not, there's a motion to appoint that can result in defeating the individual who's being appointed.